Harper closed the refrigerator with a sigh. She had to go back to the store. They had built a large, modern supermarket in the village, but they had to go to the village shop. It was the only place where you could buy food in stock. The pension was only planned for a short time. She had to pay for the ancillary costs, and as it turned out, the most expensive drug was not in stock. She counted the money she still had, made a simple shopping list, and left the house. The cat was in sunlight on the veranda. There was a big mouse next to her. "Feed her. Face her yourself," the wife Fluffy stroked and closed the door. Harper had lived and worked in the village all her life. Her husband died 4 years ago. Her son went to college after school and then stayed in the city to live there. Harper's sister lived with her husband and family of her daughter in the neighboring village. The relatives rarely called and visited, even less often. The older woman was sometimes supported by neighbors. They provided vegetables and helped with firewood. Village life is very monotonous, but she didn't blame anyone and didn't complain about life. Harper believed she had already lived her life and tried not to interfere in the lives of her relatives. "Hello, Harper." Evelyn, the shopkeeper, was very lively and resourceful despite her age. They were on first-name terms, and the village shop was always bustling. "Hello there. Well, my pension is overdue." "That's life. You can choose what you need." After filling her bag with essentials, Harper thanked the shopkeeper and made her way to the exit. "I completely forgot that." Evelyn called to her. The owner happened to bring lottery tickets with him. He said I should sell them all. "Would they take a few of them?" "What do I need it for? I don't even have enough money for medicine." "These are all lies. I don't think so." "I'll write it down to you. 100 rubles for everyone. And give me your phone number. It is official," insisted Evelyn, and remembered that Harper had always helped her. It was rude to reject in a business where she was served on loan, so she sighed and agreed. When she arrived at home, the woman sat down on a bench and stretched out her swollen legs with relish. Fluffy jumped on her lap and purred tenderly. He loved his owner for free, just for being nearby. The cold rain started to fall. Winter was just around the corner, and we had to think about firewood and repairing the roof. Harper, in order to make money, knitted. Hand-knitted socks and sweaters were highly valued in the village. Now she knitted for the Popov family, who lived 2 houses down. In return, they would help with firewood. Harper lived like this until one day her phone rang. It was a number she didn't recognize. Harper answered the phone. "Hello, how are you doing? My name is Abigail. I would like to congratulate you on winning the grand prize and ask you to confirm your ticket number and provide your passport data." Harper was suspicious and had already heard about such scams, so she quickly ended the call. The phone rang a few more times, but she ignored it. When she went to the store to pay her debts, she found crumpled lottery tickets that she had completely forgotten about. "I have to talk to Evelyn to find out why I get these calls," said Harper to the cat as she picked up another mouse from the door threshold. "Hello, Evelyn. How much do I owe you?" After paying, she told him about the fraudster's call and asked her not to pass on your phone number. Evelyn was suddenly worried. "Did you check the tickets?" "No, they only came up with me this morning." "Do you have them with you?" "Then let's see, yes." Harper handed the crumpled tickets of the employees. She switched on an old computer and began to check. Suddenly the color gave way out of her face, and Evelyn almost sat down on the stool. "That is the winning certificate. 10 million. Her voice trembled. "I pulled it lucky. That is my win." She tried to get up, but took her hands on her chest and slid down the wall onto the floor. Harper was startled and started calling for help until the shopkeeper came from the neighboring room. David quickly called a doctor, and when a car arrived with flashing lights, Harper picked up the lottery boxes from the ground and left the business. She made her way to the house and sat on a bench. When she discovered a sign at the stand, "Please call," she chose the number. After a long advertisement, a pleasant male voice answered. She explained the situation. The young man checked the lottery number and confirmed that this number contained the winning combination. He recorded her personal details and explained to her that she had to open a bank account and come to the headquarters in Moscow in order to claim her winnings. This was necessary to confirm her identity and appearance. Harper thanked the consultant, ended the call, and looked at the cat. She couldn't believe that it all happened to her. It was clear to the old woman that rumors in the village could spread very quickly, and that there could be people who have no good things. So she called her son. "Joseph, hello, I have a problem," she started. "Hi, Mom. A lot to do. Do you have something urgent to do?" she replied in an angry voice. "I won a large sum in the lottery. I have to go to Moscow." "What are you talking about? Did you see soap operas?" "Yes, it is true. I didn't believe it at first." "Yes. Didn't you ask you to dictate your card code?" My son laughed. "No, only the data of my passport." "And did you do that?" "Yes. What a stupid woman. I wanted to drive anyway. I'll take the evening train. Complete the door and don't go away," he said, putting on. Harper did as he told her. She had completed all of her tasks and just needed to cook something delicious because her son hadn't visited. Joseph arrived late at night. "Where is the winning ticket?" he asked from the doorway, ignoring the set table. Harper pulled out the ticket from under the mattress, smoothing it out. The son didn't believe it. He began to check the winning combination and called the phone number on the ticket. "Hooray!" he cried when he finished the call. "Mom, we're rich. We're going to Moscow on Monday. Finally, my luck has turned. I will rise out of this poverty and live happily ever after." The old woman looked at her son skeptically. She had never seen herself as a beggar and had lived a happy life with her beloved husband. They weren't extravagant, but they were never in need, and her conscience was clear. "Will you eat dinner?" "Yes, of course. It's a holiday, isn't it? Does Kolka still sell tincture? I'll be right back." "Don't you have to go to work?" "What work? I wanted to get out of this dirty hole for a long time. I will buy an apartment and a car." He ran out of the house, almost tripping over the cat. His son was even happier with the bottle. He called someone and then fell asleep at the table. In the early morning, Harper was busy gardening when she heard her name from behind the fence. "Good morning, Harper." Evelyn's voice was pleasant and polite. "Hello, what are you doing here? What about your health?" asked Harper, surprised by the early visit. "I came to congratulate you. There is a cake here and David brought a few gifts." They were sitting on the veranda when Joseph came out of the house. "Who is this woman?" "She is a friend of mine. Why are you so rude? We know these acquaintances. They will come from all over like flies. Listen to everyone and trust no one," he ordered, slammed the door, and went back inside the house. Harper was ashamed of his son. "I'm sorry," she apologized. "It's fine. Sometimes he's right. I'm here for a reason. I'm telling you, it's up to you. David's shop can't compete with a large supermarket, and we would appreciate it if you could contribute your share. Because if he hadn't put it up for sale and I hadn't sold it to you, there would be no profit." "There is no profit yet." "I don't think so. We'll see when the money comes." After saying goodbye to the guest, the woman started knitting. The profit was still far away, and the urgent preparations couldn't be canceled. Joseph went to the city for an important business, but promised to be back in the evening. The phone call interrupted her knitting. "Hello, dear sister." Harper couldn't recall that Emily had ever called her sister. "Hi, how are you? How is your health?" "We've been hit a bit, but we're on our way. We'll be in your area today and plan to visit." "Come by. I would be delighted," she replied, surprised. After assessing the meager selection of food, the woman began to cook. She had to go back to the store. The pension she had recently received was almost depleted. Her sister had come with the whole family. There was scarcely enough room in the small house. They had brought only one bottle with them. "And we have a house no bigger than yours. We can hardly keep it clean." "We would love to have a larger house," Emily shared. The other day, a neighbor offered his house for sale for $3 million. It is a fantastic house, made of brick, 2 stories high. "I know what you will be able to do," replied Harper sadly. She had already understood why her sister had come. Rumors spread very quickly between the two villages. I understand, but I can't help you now. I have no money now, and I don't know if I will ever have any. Hang on, my darling. Everything will be fine, called her sister's man and cried a glass. The noise and the excitement caused Harper a headache, and she went out to get some fresh air. At that moment, a car drove up in front of the house. Joseph got out of the taxi with an unknown girl. Greetings, mother. Here is Milana, my girlfriend. Milana, this is my favorite mom. The guy was clearly drunk. Hello, the girl looked around. Where did you bring me? You said your mother was very rich. Stop. She waved her arms to the taxi driver. When she drove away, Joseph cursed and went into the house. Harper heard loud shouting from inside. Get out of here, parasite. Beggar. Who the hell are you? Not a parasite. You haven't been here for a year and a half. Harper had no strength to comfort or explain. She just sat on the bench and looked at the green meadow in front of the house where she and her sister used to play. Where, it seemed, little Joseph had recently played football with the boys. The guests left dissatisfied, and Joseph Trank took out his bottle and went to bed. It took 4 hours to get to the capital, and another hour and a half by subway to the building where the large office was located. After waiting in line, Harper held her ticket and passport. Congratulations! To get your profit, you have to open a bank account, which you can do in the building next door. In about 6 months, we will deposit the prize money using the data you provide to this account. I would like to remind you that the profit is taxable, about 13%. I look forward to receiving your information. Congratulations again, said the organization's employee. Joseph began to protest that it was a fraud and you have no right to rip them off, but Harper stepped on his foot and asked him not to embarrass her. When she came home late at night, she found a large bunch of dry, chopped birch wood in front of the shed, and on the bench there was a jug of milk and a bag with fruit. The village already knew how to help a simple pensioner, and everyone tried to help and attract the woman's attention. Even the police officer from the neighborhood came over and offered her a ride to the store, complaining about her low income and the terrible funding of the police station along the way. Her sister called every day and reminded her of herself, and Joseph drove into town, but only came back once a week. After 6 months, she was so fed up with her relatives' intrusive attention that Harper, when the top-up decision came, had no doubt what to do next. She turned to a real estate agent and chose a small apartment that was already renovated and furnished. She quickly did the paperwork and invited Joseph, Evelyn, and Emily to visit. The guests arrived on time. They were well-dressed with flowers and gifts, but they looked miserable as they glanced at each other. Harper asked the guests to the table, I wanted to thank you all. You came and took part in my celebration. I want to share the joy with you. The guests smiled and she continued, Dear son, you are an adult man and I think you will appreciate what I did. I have transferred the ownership of the house in the village to you. Is that it? The smile disappeared from her son's face. And the money? I have taken out more loans in 6 months than this wreck is worth. Have you lost your mind? You are grown up and should have used your head before you quit your job and start living beyond your means, Harper replied. Joseph jumped up from his chair and left the apartment, slamming the door loudly. The remaining guests looked at Harper, tense and uneasy. Now, my dear sister, I learned from her daughter that your neighbor is ready to sell the house through the bank, that is, with a mortgage. For the sake of my niece and grandchildren, I am ready to make a down payment. That will be my gift for the children, for whose birthday I have never been invited. And what about the rest of the money? What about the interest? Do you want to put us in bondage? What would Mom say about how you treat your own people? God bless them. She would have said, go and work. Harper replied calmly, This is my offer. You can reject it. This is not what I had hoped for. And what should I tell my family now? That you have gone crazy about your old days, Emily murmured as she grabbed her things. When she left, Evelyn said, Well, that's quite a mess. I'll leave now. You should rest a little. It is a heavy burden to be rich. Wait, Evelyn. I have provided the necessary sum for the renovation of the shop, the police station, and school. The money is on the guard. Everything is official and documented. Isn't it what you wanted? Yes. Do you want tea? No, thank you. I'll go before it's too late. I still have a gift for you, said Harper, and presented Evelyn with 2 lottery tickets and a small envelope with money. Just a little something from my heart. May you be lucky. Thank you. Evelyn didn't look happy when she left. When she left, Harper sat on a chair on the small balcony and started knitting. Fluffy lay next to her. He loved her for free because she was always there for him.